Up everybody, this is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video to the video that I had done earlier in regards to me being at Springfield for 8-9 days, however many days it's been. You know, my wife had told me, man, you didn't tell people why you were up there at the terminal, so people might just be thinking that you've been up there waiting on a load. No, you know, some of you guys have been watching my channel. You know, I had the deer incident that hit the side of my truck. Then I had the driver in St. Louis that hit the side of my truck. So I had to get my truck in here to get repaired. So during this week, they rebuilt my APU, got me a new fuel tank, new side fairings, and then there's like a quarter panel strip thing that's on the side of a Peterbilt that I had to get done. So I haven't been just sitting up here waiting for a load. Now that was done on Friday night. Today is Sunday. I didn't go to see on a load till Saturday. They said they didn't have anything leaving the yard till Monday, so I just said, you know what, my fleet manager is going to be in Sunday, I heard, so I got with him today and kind of let him know what the situation was, that I was available, stuff like that. So haven't just been sitting here waiting on a load. Now, just kind of keep touching on this freight market situation. You know, like I said, I've been out of the mix for about a week. So a little over, you know, let's say 8 days. But the previous load I had to that I brought in here, I got a day and a half prior to that. So I've kind of been out of the market for a while, so I don't know what's going on with freight rates or time on loads or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm out of the mix a little bit. Like I had said before, I hadn't seen a drop in either the cents per mile or the time on loads before I dropped this load off. Now, it's obvious that rates have dropped and everything. Now, I'm just not sure how Prime as a company is reacting to this, if they're, you know, getting a higher percentage of whatever freight is out there, or what that situation is. I really have no control over that. So what I do have control over is how I react to this market. And you know, just like anything, you know, I mean, I think I came out of more of a volatile environment in my last business. So this little temporary, I mean, 3 weeks isn't enough to like cry about anything, to be honest with you. You know, 3 weeks isn't enough to wake anybody up or scare anybody in the business I came from. Now, when you start talking about 5 months, you know, something like that, you know, that's something that, you know, you kind of take notice of. But, you know, in the industry I came from, a lot of times, you know, some of these companies would hope that volume goes down, because when volumes go down, it clears a lot of people out of the market. So, you know, with less people in the market, you don't need the same amount of volume, so you're back to making the same amount, and then when the market bounces back, you're even making more than you were making before. So don't always look at a down market as a negative thing. I mean, once you survive it, man, the bounce back is going to be incredible. So that's my thoughts on it. So rather than sitting here and complaining about it and everything like that, you know, I'm just I'm gonna do what I do in any other situation, you know, sort of like why giraffes have long necks. You know, giraffes have long necks, you know, unlike horses with short necks, because their primary food source was foliage, and foliage being high, you know, they ended up having to adapt to get to the foliage. And that's what I plan on doing in this market, which is, you know, adapting to it, improving my game, you know, whatever I got to do. But I don't look at this entire truck market is just the truck market. So, you know, truck market might be slipping, you know, or the overall economy is taking a beating. So I'm not even concerned about this little bit of money in trucking. I'm talking about the losses I'm taking in the 401k area, you know, the housing market and stuff like that. But even then, I'm not whining about that. What I'm doing is, okay, you know what? Me and the wife's 401ks are probably taking a beating, and I say probably because probably they are, but I haven't even looked at them. They're probably taking a beating. You know what? Boom, let's go take some money we got and go throw that in the market over here, where we could play put money on individual stocks that might be artificially low. So I know the housing market's going to come back around. It's just a matter of when. So now I got a new area that's going to be paying off down the road as well. Call that doubling up, So got that going on. So I'm taking a beating on my house. Some people be like, oh, don't invest in real estate. Now's the time to invest. If if the market stays down, boom, I'm going to grab up another one of those. So I don't look at the trucking market singularly by itself. So when I say adapt, what I mean is not necessarily adapt to this market, because all I can do is what Prime is going to give me, but there's other areas where you can find that growth at. So I choose not to take the doom and gloom approach to this situation. Now, the freight market seems to be something that, a lot of people are talking about right now. And listen, nobody wants to make less money for doing the same job that they were doing a month ago or, 2 months ago or whatever. That nobody wants to do that. And I would be the first one to tell you I would not necessarily be happy about that situation. But you know what? Something that keeps going through my head is what my dad used to always tell me, and it was, stop whining. That you will never hear from me. So I might say, freight's down. Not make, I would go into the numbers, but I learned my lesson not to even think about doing that anymore. But I might say, I'm not making what I was making before, or, whatever the situation is, but you are not going to hear me blaming the market. I mean, that's like, it's like the market is so obscure. It's such a non-tangible thing to blame something on. So I won't be doing that. Now, for those of you guys that are, in leasing or thinking about leasing, or for the people, it seems like everybody wants to be, concerned about what's going on in Prime. If Prime does have a little safety feature on their lease, I don't remember if it's $1, $2, or $1, or whatever that amount is, where that will kick in if you pull enough freight that's under that amount. Now, I don't know if that gets paid out or if they look at that quarterly, monthly, yearly. I don't know how they look at that, but there is that's kind of built in as kind of a safety net. So don't be feeling like, if you hear people talking about pulling freight for 79 cents, that if that happened long enough, that would be, what you're making. So just make wise choices. Listen, if you're going to Prime or wanting to become an owner operator, whatever your decision is, live with that decision and the consequences that come with that, because you can't always take credit when it's the good times. You got to take that blame as well. So anyway, that was a little bit more than I wanted this video to be, but I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. And I wanted to do a video talking about the guy that a lot of you guys helped out, another driver a while back that was going through some temporary hardship. Some of you guys have donated money to that, and he just did something surprising that I wanted to mention earlier in this video, but a lot of people probably aren't watching this video right now, so I'm going to do a dedicated video on what he did that I thought was absolutely remarkable. Anyway, I'm not going to keep rambling on. I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I do appreciate it. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.